What is going on, Facebook? It's another time for questions with the coach. Oh, I know. You've probably been sitting around all week waiting for me to sign on, but wait no more. The time is here. I got about 20 minutes, maybe less than that if absolutely nobody asks me anything. But I've got things I've got to do, so I'll sit around for another minute or so waiting for people to kind of sign in, stop by, ask a question, make fun of me. I'm cool with all of it, man. I really, you know me, man. I'm just one of those guys. I'm here for you. I'm a people pleaser. But no, why am I doing this today? The topics I wanted to talk about were essentially losing weight quickly or cheating weigh-ins, because in about 20 minutes, my buddy's going to go pick me up. We're heading to the south side, and I'm going to weigh in for this weight loss contest I signed up for in January. So what's the best way to cheat the system if you want to, like, kind of go in underneath the radar, let's say? And then secondly, different types of strength training. Yes, there are different types. I'm just going to kind of go over all that type of thing. But again, I'm only doing it for like 20 minutes or so, and then I'm getting the hell out of here. Hope everyone's having a great, good Friday, good Easter, good start to your Easter weekend. I know things are a little bit different with the world and all that type of stuff. Hey man, life is like that. Sometimes you got to find a silver lining no matter where it is you go. So I'm not doing anything in particular. But I feel like Easter is the holiday where I eat ham. So maybe I may go buy some ham tonight and have it for Easter Sunday. Good chance I'll probably end up just talking to my dad on the phone. He's still quarantined, and his wife right now is really cautious about who comes over and stuff. So I won't actually get to see him in person, but that's okay. We'll probably FaceTime and hang out. I hope you guys have fantastic plans. If you're traveling, be safe. If you're staying local, be safe. You know, you never know who might try and ruin your Easter weekend with the COVID virus. So, doesn't look like many more people, if anyone, is actually going to sign in. And lucky for all of us. What's up, Ryan? Yes, I will answer your question in half a second. Lucky for all of us, every single Questions with the Coach is available on my YouTube channel under the live stream playlist, but you'll see it on the videos as well. I'm just firing off. This is your opportunity to talk to me live, so I'm glad we actually have a question, Ryan. I feel like you threw that one up there because you know I needed a loud pitch. Brian's asking how to stay motivated when probably a period of inactivity or coming off some sort of layoff. I don't know about everyone else, but like typically for me, I like know what to expect when I come back. And believe it or not, most people, they'll fear the coming back because they don't want to be sore. They don't like that feeling they get after a workout. If you know what to expect, I think I was watching a Sugar Ray Robinson and who did De Niro play in Raging Bull? Oh, I forget. Ray LaMotta? Anyway, the guy that he played in Raging Bull, the psycho boxer guy that literally flipped his lid, he talked about losing over 4,000 pounds during his boxing career. And what he would do is he'd literally just get super fat, have a fight, train, lose a ton of weight in a short period of time. But he'd done it so many times, he kind of knew what to expect. So if you've worked out before and you took some time off, it's a lot easier to get back on that horse and ride it again. If we're talking about someone who's never worked out, only worked out maybe in high school, it depends how long the layoff is. I try not to go more than 3 days without doing something. I find if I take any more than that, it is harder to get back into it. And if I were to give anyone advice, is to literally pick a date, usually on a Monday. That seems to be the most popular day to start everything, but definitely an exercise routine. Pick a date, stick to it, cram everything you need to before then, and don't plan on doing too much. Don't plan on moving the world on that Monday. All you got to do is to have a routine written out. It doesn't have to be anything extraordinary, and then stick to it to the best of your ability. I tell everybody, when I'm training, when I was doing like CrossFit and people were showing up and they'd never worked out before, they'd never done a CrossFit workout before, I tell everybody, do everything 75%. If you do everything 75%, then you're not putting the pressure on yourself to try and complete everything, which definitely helps. And you're also giving yourself a little bit of a leeway. So like, let's say if I'm trying 75% and I feel better and I want to amp it up a little bit, then by all means. But the truth is, if you don't get started, if you don't plan on doing something, It's just hard. If it's one of those things where you're just like, well, I know I got to work out, but I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to do it. I mean, you're kind of rolling the dice at that point. So if I were to give some solid tips about anybody who is looking to get in from a period of inactivity, looking to just start their exercise routine again, pick a date. Whatever workout you decide to do, it could just be go for a walk, do some push-ups. It doesn't have to be very specific. A great workout that I love, especially during this whole virus thing, pick a time, like go for a jog. Let's say I'm going for a 30-minute jog, but every 5 minutes I'm going to stop and do 10 to 15 push-ups. I mean, that's a phenomenal workout because it's not too challenging. You don't have to do 10, 15. You don't have to do all the push-ups. Just every 5 minutes, just kind of stop, do a couple push-ups, continue along on your run. And if you haven't had any kind of workout, a workout like that definitely is better than nothing. So start small, pick a date, have some sort of plan in mind before you go. And when that day comes, get it done early. Don't push it off to the afternoon or the evening time. That's the worst thing you could possibly do if you aren't used to working out during that time, because you'll start playing those mind games. Something will come up. You'll get busy with work. The kids will start yammering. The wife will start yelling at you. And then all of a sudden, that workout that you had carved out for 5 p.m. just doesn't seem that important. And you start making these BS, deals with yourself that, oh, well, don't worry, I'll do it tomorrow. And almost every single time it never happens. So that would be my answer to your question, Ryan. Scott Deininger, man. Do you still have that picture of when you used to work out? I'd like to see it compared to like right now. I'm not in my phenomenal shape either, so why don't you take it easy there, pal. But it's good to see you, Scott Derringer, man. Hope the softball team still misses you. I know you miss them because that's pretty much the highlight of your life. Lizak's in the house. Coached with him at University of Chicago. How you doing, John? Good to see you. The two topics that I did decide to talk about was cheating weigh-ins and different types of strength training. I have a weigh-in in about 15 minutes. I'm going to go head over to the south side if you're just tuning in. I had signed up for a weight loss competition in January. I paid $100, and we got about, I think, like 20 people to sign up, which is phenomenal. Here's the secret, folks. Anytime somebody says they're going to do a weight loss challenge, 50% of them quit. So, I mean, unless you're dealing with, like, I don't know, a group of Marines or something like that, or, but, like, everyone has the best of intentions, especially in January. So if there's an opportunity for you to make some money and you are serious about your weight loss, do it, because you'll find that every contest you sign up for, 50% of them are just going to quit. They're not even going to start. Another 30%, and again, all statistics are usually about 70% accurate. Doesn't matter. The point is, I'm making these percentages up, but it's been my experience that another 30% aren't going to come even close to where they said they would, especially when it comes to like working out, but definitely when it comes to losing weight. So that was my rationale. And we had 20 people sign up, and sure enough, the girl who set it up, who's my buddy's sister, her boyfriend, they completed it. I'll talk about them in a second. My buddy and I are going to go weigh in, and we're still waiting for like 1 or 2 or 3 more people that said they would weigh in to finish, but the other 15 just kind of fell off, which is awesome for me. So the winner, it was kind of a winner-take-all type thing. In other words, first place got like 100, or I think $1,500. Second place got like $300, and then third and fourth place got their money back. I'm trying to get my money back. I found out that the girl who started the contest and her boyfriend lost like 30 or 40 pounds each. I didn't quite do that. I got to 21 pounds, and I just couldn't do it. I kept pushing it back. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm famous for losing a lot of weight in a short period of time. And as February was rolling up, I was like, oh, I'll wait till March. And then I thought I would have like a 45-day window, and I'll try and lose about 40 pounds during that time, and I'd start juicing again. Well, that didn't happen. But today is the weigh-in. I didn't do this, considering I know that I'm kind of banking on a lot of people not weighing in. What are things you can do to cheat weigh-ins? One thing you could do is 2 to 3 days prior, just stop drinking water, or definitely ease off on it. The day of, you don't want to drink any water. You'll talk to wrestlers. They're phenomenal at cutting weight, so are boxers. So anybody that is anybody at fighters that have a weight class for their sport, you know that the body is 80%. The body is 80% water, right? So if you can cut out as much water as possible, you're going to be doing great. So not drinking water, obviously not taking water in, is a phenomenal way to kind of get those pounds off the scale. Obviously going for a run or any kind of period of activity where you're burning calories, something that's considered to be lower intensity and longer would be better for trying to burn those calories. And then finally, sweating out, having a gigantic movement, peeing as many times as possible, just trying to get all of that stuff out of your system. That's why you'll see a lot of wrestlers and stuff. They'll put those garbage bags on. They'll hop into the sauna. They're sweating like maniacs. You can lose, I mean, you're gonna naturally lose 5 pounds up and down each day anyway. You can lose, between like 5 and 15 pounds within a 24-hour period. That's been proven. It is hard to do. Now, mind you, you're not drinking water. You're running. You're sitting in a sauna. You're gonna feel like garbage. There's a good chance you might pass out. You probably want to have somebody who knows how to resuscitate you nearby, because it's very dangerous and you could potentially go into a coma. So I don't recommend it. But on the flip side, you're probably going to win any weight loss contest that you're signing up for. So if you're trying to cheat the system, which this morning I would have had to go for about a 5, 6, 7, 10-mile run, wearing garbage bags, sat in a sauna for a couple hours, stopped drinking water on Wednesday, and I might have had a legitimate shot at going in 10 pounds lighter than I'm going in now. And for those of you keeping score at home, I know you wanted to know, I lost a total of, how much did I lose? 21 pounds. So I'm looking for the scale to say today, hopefully 21. We'll see though. But anything over 20, I think I have a legitimate shot, at least getting 4th place back, which I get my money back. $100, man. And in this day and age, $100 will go a long way. Different types of strength training. I'm glad you asked. Josh Payne is back. Aaron Crosby, good to see you. Pelletier, man, the guy who played Randall McMurphy in One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest, man. You were phenomenal, Randall McMurphy. Anyway, good to see everybody. Glad you guys are tuning in. We're up to 3 now. That's huge. That's about 3 more than I usually get. So thank you very much. And 2 of those are my dogs. So, what are the different types of strength training? There's 3 types of training you can do, and they all have specific means. And to try and cross over, you could try and do it, but you're going to not get one as good as it possibly had been should you have trained for that specifically. So the 3 types of training are endurance training for strength, muscle size, so hypertrophy training, and then pure strength. And it's probably easiest described by the amount of reps you're trying to do per set. Now, I don't want to blow your mind, and all of a sudden you don't remember any of it, but hey, Mr. Cushing, how you doing? Joe Mistich is in the house. When the socks start up, buddy, I'm going to come visit you again, Joe. Endurance training is typically by anything that's considered 15 or more reps, let's say. Again, some of these ballpark numbers, some people say more than 20 reps, more than 25 reps, that type of thing. But if we're talking about how many push-ups you can do, that's a great example too. If we're talking about how many push-ups you can do, that's a strength endurance exercise. Strong people could do lots of push-ups, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily strong when it comes to brute strength, which we'll talk about in a second. The only way to train strength endurance is to do strength endurance. So there's no way to kind of substitute that type of thing. If you want to have muscles that will last long for a long period of time, you're going to have to do that type of training. So when would something like that apply? You'll find with firemen, CrossFit athletes, if you want to show off for everybody that is asking you to do it, I guess, if you work at a gym or something like that, you're going to have to train for that type of thing. But to be able to carry a hose up flights and flights of stairs and stuff like that, that's a strength endurance exercise, bar none. And to get good at something like that, you can't substitute the training. The only thing you can do is to train that type of way. So if anybody who's trying to train for that type of thing, they'll typically do sets over 15 reps, as high as 20, as high as many as you can possibly go. I find that when I'm training for, let's say push-ups, for example, which is just an easy example for me to use, what I will do is I'll do as many as I possibly can, and then after that, I will shoot for a number, and then I will just kind of shoot for less each and every time, and then eventually I'll do as many burnout sets as I possibly can. What do I mean by that? So let's say I could do 50 push-ups, which we're going to go ahead and pretend I could still do 50 push-ups. I'm sure I could if there was people watching me and a lot of money on the line. And I'm going to do as many push-ups as I possibly can. I'm going to rest 2, maybe 3 minutes. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to try another set, shoot for half of that. Go rest 2, 3 minutes, shoot for half of that. And then after that, I'm going to try and do as many sets as many as I can. You're probably looking in that 5 to 10 rep range because you're completely spent. Routines like that, spaced out over, given some anywhere between like 48, 72 hours rest at least, and then repeated, you will build the muscle endurance, the strength endurance for sure. Second to that is hypertrophy. What does hypertrophy mean? It's just a clever way of saying maximum muscle size. So bodybuilders in particular, most people that are at the gym, most dudes getting ready for summertime that want gigantic guns so they can impress the ladies are training for what we call hypertrophy, which is maximum muscle size. So big biceps, big chest, big back, usually not legs. You'll find a lot of people who train hypertrophy skip the legs, except for the calves. Does anybody remember that True Life on MTV where the guy got calf implants? Am I the only one who remembers that? It's just bizarre, man. What do we do for that type of training? Typically, the reps would be in the range of 8 to 12, no more than 12. No, you might go down to like 6, 7 reps, but you typically want to stay in that 8 to 12 range. So if you're doing hypertrophy training, for example, if you want to do the push-up, what you want to do is select some sort of resistance that's going to make you fatigue at 12 reps, and no more than that. So you'll see a lot of guys, training for hypertrophy, will put a plate on their back. We'll kind of put chains around their necks. We'll put bands, and they'll do as many push-ups as they can. And then, once they get to that 12, it's not that they stop. They actually fatigue by the time they get to 10. They try and squeeze 1 or 2 more reps out. They take a break, rest 2 to 3 more minutes. They do the same thing, and then they'll adjust the weight that allows them to get 10 reps, let's say. And then after that, they'll rest 2, 3 minutes, probably take some weight off, try to get like 8 reps. And then after that, try to get like 6 reps. And then after that, move on to a different exercise. So hypertrophy training typically is in a rep range from 8 to 12. And you're typically doing 3 to 4, maybe 5 sets. But you want to go no less than that 8, no less than 6 for sure, no more than 12. Because any more than 12, you're getting toward that 15, you're training more for endurance. And any less than 6, you're training for strength. Strength training is the final one that I want to talk about today, and then I got to get out of here. Strength training is typically no more than 5 reps. I saw a, what's up, Joe Saracini? Good to see you, buddy. I saw a video that explained why do we stop at 5 reps. Well, if we're talking about strength training, like how strong are you possibly, what you're talking about is 1 rep. Certain exercises, it's not really about how strong you are, it's about how good your technique is. So the 2 best examples are the snatch and the clean and jerk. Both exercises are you lifting something from the ground to above your head. The only difference between the 2 is the clean and jerk is you stop below your chin, above your chest, I call it the rack position, and then you drive and you get it above your head. The snatch, you go from the ground to above your head. Well, you'll see like these little guys from China or like Bulgarians or like these dudes that, are very unassuming that can lift a lot of weight over their head, and they just have phenomenal technique. They train their muscles the proper way. They did, the fast twitch fibers. They've worked those. They were born with a lot of those fibers to begin with, so they're genetically blessed. They trained that way for a long time. They hammered home the technique. I mean, think about it. When we're talking about weightlifting, there's only 2 in the Olympics. There's only 2 exercises that they do, and both of them just involve lifting the weight above your head. If we're talking about true brute strength, like how strong is someone really, I think there's a better way to do it, and I would say the deadlift is probably the exercise that you can kind of differentiate between who's stronger. So if you and your buddy, are out for each other and you want to see who's the stronger guy, see how much weight you can lift from the ground. Of course, you could do a sumo stance, you could do some sort of weird grip, you could do it assisted where you wear like the singlet or a belt that's super duper tight and it'll help you lift a couple more pounds. Does that mean that you're stronger than your buddy? I don't know, man. We're kind of splitting hairs at that point. But the ability to lift, and then just someone has short legs, all of a sudden they're better at deadlift. Does that mean they're stronger than you? I don't know, I guess. But the deadlift, you can kind of get away with not having the greatest technique and still being a strong dude. Anybody who wants to, look at that time. Anybody who wants to improve their strength overall, they will typically train no more than 5 reps, because after that, you're training more for either hypertrophy or endurance. If you're talking about just brute strength, if you're lifting a weight that you think you can lift more than 5 reps, then you're not training for true strength. You're training for something else. So you'll find Olympic weightlifters, power lifters, and the powerlifting is just 3 events, the bench press, the back squat, and the deadlift. they'll do sets no more than 5, and then all of a sudden they'll start working down, like it's super heavy, go down to, maybe 4 or 3. They typically won't do like 2s and 1s because that's usually, we're starting to get toward our peak, and you'll find that you don't want to train at that peak level all the time because it's a really good way to open the door to injury. But or if they do like low reps, like a 2 or 1, like singles, let's say, they're only training at like no more than 85% of their 1 rep max anyway. So I don't want to get too complicated, although I think I may have already. But there's 3 specific types of training when it comes to training for strength. There's endurance, which is usually more than 15 reps, could be as high as however many you can go. Gymnasts are phenomenal examples of people who are good at high rep training. There's hypertrophy, those are your bodybuilders that are looking for maximum muscle size, and then there's your brute strength, those are your Olympic weightlifters and your power lifters, powerlifting, back squat, deadlift, and bench press. So hopefully I answered all your questions. I only had one real one. I had a "Hey Andy," which is huge because I like people saying hi. I'm signing off here. I do this every Friday. I think at some point I'm going to post like a schedule and try to be consistent about it. Again, I'm on quarantine, so there's no excuse for me not to be consistent about it. But I hope your routines are going well. I hope your diet has not flown too far off, and I hope that I can answer any questions that you might have going forward. You guys are great. I am signing out. Take care. Enjoy your Easter.